Now, if you got a bunch of this stuff kicking around, this is that frame from these, you know, Shelter Logic portable shelters. You know, the shelter always rips after a couple of years, and you end up with these frames. You know, they're everywhere. You can get them on, you know, any classified ads anywhere. It's got a bunch of these, you know. Come and get it, you know. So if you got a bunch of these, and if you can get your hands on some old scaffold, just one section is all you need, and you got nothing much else to do with the rest of your life, in a few hours, you can put together one of these beautiful things. I call it the scaff tent. Look at this thing. Piece of scaffolding here. And you know, these, I can't quite tell you the angles of this stuff because I don't know. It's just, they come out kind of odd. You know, this might not have been for a top. I don't know where it was from, but you know, these, if you've ever tried to put one of those tent shelter things together, they got all these weird bends and ends, and you know, you need a degree in engineering to put them together, or a case of beer, or both. So anyway, what I've done here is, there's normally pins that sit in the scaffold here, so I removed the pins, and there was just enough room, like not a lot, to kind of drive this down in here with a hammer. You know, get it in far enough that I could get a bolt through it, see? So I've done that. I've done that on the four corners here, and I had some boards. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tarp this thing over. And you want to talk about a quick shelter, you know? I got an idea for it. You'll see that later on. But you know, I mean, just I was sitting here earlier today thinking, okay, I could make something out of wood, and you know, because I needed a little shelter. But I had scaffolding. Yeah, it's just laying around doing nothing. And I mean, you know, this is not indelible either. I mean, if I wanted this scaffold, it's a matter of taking these 4 bolts out and the top comes off, and I can use the scaffold again for something. But yeah, this just, what I'm doing is I'm bolting these on with carriage bolts, so the top's kind of rounded, see? And it pulls into the wood, and when you tighten it, these are 3-inch carriage bolts, galvanized. And that was the biggest expense for the whole thing. I had the boards, this old metal, I had like a bin of it, like you saw, and I got some scaffold kicking around, and I got this thing bolted together. Now I got a few more pieces to put in here. It's high enough to stand in, like I'm almost 6 feet, and I can stand almost right in the back edge here. So, like I say, you want to build yourself a scaff tent, or a tent scaff, or a, what else would you call it? If anybody's got a name for this other than what I've called it, I mean, okay, you have to be kind, but put it down in the description. Tell me what you think of this quick little shelter so far, and if you've got a name for it that's you know, family friendly, put it down in the description. Okay, I thought I'd show you that, and I got a couple more boards to put in. That's rock solid. Look at that, you know? There's all the frame on it. Check that out. Well, join us tomorrow for the spellbinding conclusion of Scaff Tent, or Tent Scaff, or whatever we're going to call it. But we'll get this thing tarped in tomorrow, and we'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so it's later on in the next day. And you know, just when you think, you know, what you do in life isn't going to make Red Green happy, you know, you do something like this. And you know, what I did was I had some plastic, and I just, you know, I wrapped it around, and it went up onto the roof about here. And then I had an old door off one of those shelters, but it's not square, so it didn't sit right on there, and plus it had a few holes in it, so I roped it down anyway. And then I put this little heavier tarp over it, and that worked out pretty good. And I'll show you inside here in a minute, but you know, this that's pretty good. I got those boards in there. So that's gonna shed water. And you can see I don't have a door, but I've got the fixings for a door right here. So there's an opening right here, so I'm gonna cut through that plastic here in a moment, and we're gonna mount this board. And I got some real haywire stuff here. I'm trying to do this low budget with what I've got on hand. So I've got some muffler clamps and some hinges I dug out and some screws. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mount that board and then screw the hinges to it, and I'll have a door that can shut. Now, cut it across, and cut that one across. And what I'll be able to do is fold these back, and tape those out of the way, and I'll show you inside. See, like I say, the plastic that I wrapped around didn't come up all the way over the roof, so I've still got to be able to, I'm going to pull this up and as far as I can. Yeah. And like I say, that's it wasn't quite big enough to go all the way to the top, so I'll just tuck that up out of there. Same on the other side here. There's some that's going to be, keep pulling that up through here. Kind of thing. And what I did was I found some plywood. I cut some plywood to fit in here, so we've got a shelf in here now. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to see if I can get a pallet to put down here, and I'm going to put my generator on here for the winter. And because I've always, you know, when the power goes out, and it does go out quite often around here, you know, I got a generator just sitting outdoors, you know, in the pouring rain or in the wind or whatever is happening. You know, usually a storm that causes the power to go out, knocks a pole down. And so I'm going to put the generator up here. The generator will be in here, but this can also be, you know, a little storage shed. And we've got a couple of bicycles and stuff like that. So it's quick and nasty. Let's get that door put in there, and then we'll have a final look at how we've made out with this thing. Okay, so I got all that plastic taped back. I got it down around there, taped back here, taped back there. Now, time to invent a door. Okay, so I got some muffler clamps here. I'm gonna go. Okay, so I just got a muffler clamp there, and I put a little block on the other side, and I'm going to do the same thing down here, give or take. So one about here. Now, get that one in the right spot is the trick. Right there. That'll be doing pretty good. Remember, you got to keep it rough and nasty. Name of the game here is rough and nasty. I think I'm fulfilling that. Okay, let's see how we did. Ooh, pretty good. Let's get the hammer on that. Because you need a big hammer for a job like this. All right, let's see. Very good. Now, there's hardly any use putting a level on this because it's not so level, the whole thing, but we can kind of eyeball the reveal on the side of the post here. Okay, might get it. I don't know if that other one's going to pull through far enough, that other leg, but even as it is, one leg on here is going to hold it. yeah, that's pretty good. It's a plywood door, right? A little tiny plywood door. I think that's gonna be fine. Yeah, that's gonna be fine, just with one on there. And there it is, in all its glory. It's finished. It's as finished as it's gonna get. But I had an old piece of plywood. I put some hinges on it. See, I put a chain here to limit how far that swings back. It won't go right back flat because the way those hinges are on there, but that's plenty of opening. And then I'll just give you a tour inside. You can see. Got a shelf up here. And what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to put my generator in here. I'm going to put a generator in here, and I can run a cord down to the house. And anyway, that's the shack anyway. That's how it looks. And it's a quick and nasty. And it's not very pretty, but if you've got an old scaffold and some of that metal or whatever you want, you can put together a temporary shelter and have it as beautiful as this. Okay, so I just got a piece of rope, put it through there like that, and that's all I got done to tie the door. That's it, that's fine. That's not going to go anywhere. Anyway, thanks for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and be kind. Put some comments down below. Tell me what you think of this. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you again here very soon on Everyday Projects. Oh, I almost forgot something. Just a second.
A few moments later.
There. Oh, gotta have a lock on it. Anyway, that's done.